I don't know if you guys saw the clip. I'm sure many of you saw the clip now. This is from Capcom's most recent tournament they had. Every time there's a CPT Online tournament, you know somebody's going to be pissed.
Do you have any thoughts about how you are going to prepare for that kind of extremely talent-dense tournament again?
Talent dense.
Nah, I'm gonna just play Guilty Gear.
You're doing all right in that game, so okay.
Yeah, I'm in Capcom. There's no reason for me to play this game anymore. I don't like the lag, so I'm not gonna force myself to play. I love the game.
Yeah,
the game is amazing, but the online is just not good, and it just tilts me.
You know, I have to do it. Yeah, Cody, you beat me to it. I can't say I have a lot of sympathy, you know, if I'm honest with you. People are like, uh-oh, what's gonna happen to Punk? The difference is, you know, they don't hire Punk. What are they gonna do? They can't get rid of him. If he's winning all his tournaments, they just have to stop interviewing him. The funny thing is that a lot of people know that I don't do CPT events anymore because Capcom is grumpy about me talking about the netcode or saying, hey, you guys probably should have an LCQ for Capcom Cup, you know? And it's fine, right, that they're grumpy at me because they have lots of new talent that they just plugged in instead. And it's an important lesson in both ways, right? One, I don't have to play nice, right? Because personally, I can make a living if I don't commentate CPT event. I lose money not doing it, sure, but I have lots of other things I can do. They just save a bunch of money hiring new people for way less money. We'll cycle out all these old talent that have been supporting our game and talking about it and uplifting it for all these years because they cost too much and they're crusty and they said something mean about our game one time. And now we'll get all this new talent who's excited about the game, not burned by our corporate, difficulties. We'll pay them way less money, and then boom, we'll just have a nice new shiny show. That is how it works, right? I mean, there's no like repercussions. You guys may be grumpy about commentary or something for a bit, but what's gonna happen? It doesn't change the broadcast. It costs them less money, and they just move on with their lives, right? Someone in the chat says, what happens if the new talent gets grumpy? Somebody always wants a job. Why do you think that they would suddenly just be like, this new person, we can't get rid of them? It's perfectly fine for them to just use someone else. I don't think that it's even a problem if they don't want to use somebody who says something about their netcode being bad, right? I don't blame them. It's perfectly fine. Did they send me an email that said your services are no longer required? No, I would have framed that on my wall if they did. Instead, I've got like 6 different emails that was like, hey, this Capcom guy really hates you. He randomly brought you up in like 5 meetings in a row that were not about you and tried to talk shit about you. I was like, that's weird. That is very unprofessional. I'm glad he has a job still. Rent-free? Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't say it bothers me too much. I, to be honest, have never had more success with my content and my stream and also just the stuff I do in general than post-Capcom. The online being bad is also literally everyone they've ever hired has said that their online is bad. So if that's the kicker, then they should do some soul searching internally. You know what I'm saying? They should really consider not blaming the beast. It's also not like I dislike Street Fighter V as a game. Think about how many years I played and commentated and made videos for and streamed and was like, look guys, I don't give a shit if you don't like the game. I think it's fun for that game. You know, you don't put as many hours into a series as I did if you don't like the game, correct? He even says in the clip, look, I love the game, I just can't fucking play it online. That's a lot of people's opinions, right? I think that's like everybody's thoughts on, you know, a lot of games, not just Street Fighter, a lot of games where it's like, this game is really tight, I would love to play it. Kind of sucks online. It's 2 things that are facts. Not having an LCQ and the online being bad are things that made people grumpy, which, I mean, you know, it's perfectly fine. I quit Tekken commentary for it. Honestly, I didn't really want to do that much Tekken commentary because I felt like I didn't know nearly anything about the game relative to everybody else. You would imagine this would be normal, but I really don't want to do any fighting game or any game in general that I don't know anything about. You've been turning down Strive gigs. You know, it cracks me up, Ryan, because like, I feel like most people would be so happy to hear your commentary, even if you don't feel like your knowledge is near complete, because obviously nobody's is, right? The game is new. But there's also, on the turn of that, there's so many people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to Strive, who would absolutely be like, hell yeah, I'll do this gig. Let's go. I watch a lot of games, and I constantly find myself thinking, man, this person does not know what's really going on the screen. They're lost. Even games that are not fighting games, I think about that a lot, where I listen, and I'm like, man, you don't see You see what's happening on the screen, but not really what's happening. You know, my commentary brain, I have to turn it off sometimes because in my head, I'm judging commentary rather than just watching the match. You know, back to the original point of this. I've talked a lot about commentary in the past and like self-reflecting about commentary and what's useful personally as like a commentator. And yeah, I mean, one thing that's very important to know is that you're extremely replaceable. It doesn't matter if you get hired for literally everything. You do EVO finals, Capcom Cup finals, a bajillion hours of match analysis that nobody else cared to do. You do content for the game constantly for 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, right? It's very easy then for somebody to come in and be like, I don't like them. And then you're not there anymore. Think about how many Street Fighter champions over the years have just fallen. People who supported Street Fighter and they were all about Street Fighter, and you just never hear about them anymore because they're burned or they don't feel like doing it anymore. It's extremely common. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like how much has your life changed as like a Capcom fan if suddenly I'm not commentating Street Fighter anymore? You just see me less, right? All of a sudden you're just like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that Sajam guy in a while. You just keep going. You're just like, yeah, anyway, let me watch some of this Street Fighter, and then like life goes on. Listen. King Kong heard you were shit-talking him a few months ago. Yeah, because he's a little coward. And Godzilla should fucking put his little ass in a fucking chokehold every day of the week. Anyway, you know we have to do a whole sandwich video, right? King Kong, look at the profile picture. KI was just a copy of every fighting game before it. The sandwich thing was cringe AF. He's posted up on Skull Island with his laptop and his little reading glasses. Fuck Sajam. Think you're so fucking clever, dumbass. You climb on top of a building, fucking stand on top, now you're a bigger target, everybody shoots you. It's almost like you could have used the buildings as cover, idiot. Anyway, yeah, Grizzly Bear would own a gorilla.